Welcome to Mick and T's Sports Report here on CHCO-TV. I'm Joe Ticotsky down here in New Haven, Connecticut.
I'm Evan McFarlane up here in St. Andrews, New Brunswick, Canada.
Excellent stuff. This is episode 7 for us, or set for our French-speaking bilingual viewers.
Or 6 more than most people thought we would have.
Exactly. Never thought we'd get this far. It's also our 3rd episode using Zoom. And for the replay of our last episode on CHCO, I was doing some research and I noticed that our trusty stage manager, Patrick Watt, gave us the prime time 8 o'clock spot, which was,
Moving on up.
First couple episodes, he told us our ratings were lower than everything but the community billboard, where they just scroll the announcements. But now I looked it up and we've gone past the etiquette guy and the Mark and Mandy show. We're moving. We're both competitive, so I know I speak for Evan when I say, watch out, Tuesday night bingo. We're coming after you. And an announcement I would like to make. I'm playing around with my crazy graphics here. At the recent Sir James Dunn Academy Awards night, my co-host Evan won the SJDA Volunteer Award in memory of James A. Stewart, or Granddad Jim, as everyone around town knows him. So congrats on that. That's awesome.
Hey, thanks a lot. And I'm really happy that you found my best picture available to you.
I did. That's a nice picture. You look a little bit younger there. You look a little
little less.
For the days of a crowded gymnasium, we all long for those.
Yeah.
Then I also noticed, do you have anything to do with this?
I do.
There you go. I was tooling around town and I found that. So yeah. Okay, we're gonna bring back an old segment that we had in the first couple of shows. Viewer mail.
Oh, wow.
While. Yes, I've got we have gotten some viewer mail, so I'm gonna read those. First one, and they all concern our last guest, who is Tyson Flynn of Golf, New Brunswick. Bonnie C. from Sherbrooke writes, I tuned into your last show thinking the guest was Tyson Fury, pro boxer. Instead, there was some golf dude named Tyson Flynn. Well, that's the last time I'll watch your show. Okay.
It's going to be hard to surpass bingo losing people like that.
I'm telling you. Matt W. from Gander, Newfoundland. Do you know what they're famous for in Gander?
Enlighten me.
The airport. Which it said, I looked it up, in the early 40s, it was the largest airport in the world. It's amazing. I agree with Bonnie from Sherbrooke. Bonnie was from Sherbrooke, Quebec, if I didn't mention that. Matt says, I agree with Bonnie. It's the last time I'll watch your show. I tuned in thinking the guest was Mike Tyson, former pro boxer. Instead, we got someone named Tyson Flynn. You and Evan both need to go kiss the cod. Yeah. Little inside Newfoundland stuff there.
Thanks, bye.
And our last one is from a Michael J. in Charlotte, North Carolina. We have some U.S. fans. I'm a big basketball fan, really enjoy watching your show. One of my favorite players has always been Tyson Chandler. I actually thought he was going to be interviewed on your show, but instead it was some golf guy named Tyson Flynn. But I did think it was an awesome interview. I'll now make it a point to catch every episode of your show. Maybe I can be a guest in your show one of these days. My friends tell me I was a pretty good basketball player back in the day. Michael J. from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Sounds like, wasn't the actor in Space Jam from Charlotte?
I believe it was also. We're putting the pieces together.
Okay.
Evan, do you have an address if people wanted to email us?
For my personal address? I'd rather not give that out.
No, the work one.
Not on me.
Okay. I thought I sent that to you. It's mickand@chco.tv.
I'm running 4 email accounts due to work stuff right now, so I get a little scattered.
Nice, nice. Now we've got another, we're going old school here. We're bringing back one of our old guests up in St. Andrew.
Hey.
Hi,
It's Amelia Welch. Hello, Amelia. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me on here.
Sure.
No music quiz today, please.
Yes, no music. Amelia, why don't you tell us, because you probably won't be with us for a while after this, tell us what's going on in your world in terms of your upcoming plans.
Well, right now I'm here at St. Andrews for another 4 days, and then I'm off to Moncton, New Brunswick to move into my apartment for school this year. I'm doing the dental assisting program at Olton College in Moncton, so I'm excited.
That is awesome. That's good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
We wish you good luck with that, and we'll try. Since we use Zoom now, we probably can still get you on up there. If you know,
That's right. Yep.
you're gonna have a busy social life up there, but we'll try to grab a minute.
Right.
Our sponsorship's getting so strong now that we may even be able to open a scholarship program.
Wow.
Big Dave will like that. All right, before we finish our first segment, would you be interested in reading us one of our favorites? How about that? Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's my friend Doug Watkins in Connecticut. He does all my background stuff for me. Do you have a News of the Weird story to read for us?
I just so happen to have one, so I'll go ahead and read it if I can.
Go for it. Go for it.
Okay. So the Richland County, South Carolina Sheriff's officers are searching for a man and woman who held a Pizza Hut manager at gunpoint because they didn't receive the 2-liter of Pepsi that they had ordered for their delivery with their pizza. The manager told the local TV station the couple entered the restaurant complaining about the delivery. They came behind the counter, and as the man held out a gun, the woman removed a bottle of Pepsi from the restaurant's cooler. Once the goods were in hand, the man put his gun away and they left the store.
Oh my goodness, that would never happen at Old Time Pizza down on Water.
That's right.
But Kevin Simmons, if you're watching, take note because you got to make sure King Street Pizza has 2 liters.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
right.
You
Yeah.
always want to be fully stocked there. Well, Amelia, thank you very much for briefly joining us. I know you have to get off to work,
Yes, unfortunately.
but
Thank you.
best of luck, and we'll definitely be in touch with you.
Sounds good. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your show.
All right,
Good
Evan,
luck.
once we take a quick break, we're going to come back and we've got an interview with a college athletic director, which should be interesting, talking about what's going on in the fall. So we'll be back after this. You are watching Mick and T Sports Report on CHCO-TV. Welcome back to Mick and T Sports Report here on CHCO-TV. Our guest for this episode is the athletic director at St. Francis Xavier University, also known as St. FX. The university is located in Antigonish, Nova Scotia, which I looked up, and it's about 2 hours northeast of Halifax. It was established in 1855. Currently has over 4,000 undergraduate students. He's been the AD at the school for 16 years and is also a graduate of the school where he played basketball for the legendary Steve Konchowski, who's also known as Canada's Coach K. So let's welcome Leo MacPherson to the show. How are you, Leo?
I'm doing great. Great. Thanks for having me.
Can we let's just quickly add Antigonish to another place that Joe the American can't pronounce.
Oh, I was going to ask you before how to pronounce. How's it pronounced?
Antigonish. And you can say it quickly without the T, Antigonish. And but you gave it the old college try, Joe, so not bad. Not bad.
In the last segment, you missed it. I threw Evan for a loop with some trivia on the Gander Airport in Newfoundland. We don't fool around here.
Yeah, I guess not.
Around. All right, just to make you feel a little bit at home, our low-tech graphics department here. Here we go.
Oh,
I like that. I got a little background for you. All right, Leo, the big story in Canadian university sports, unfortunately, is the cancellation of the entire fall sports season. Why don't you walk us through how and why the decision was made?
Well, it's, if I go back to March 12th, I believe it was, we were in the last weekend of our youth sports national championships. The men's hockey and the women's hockey championships were taking place. Our women's team, we were in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. Our women's team had just won a quarterfinal, advanced to the semifinal. And then we just got word that the plug got pulled. Hockey Canada basically shut us down. So disappointing. Then just everything just seemed to snowball across North American sports sector. So for the last few months, we've been working at home. This is, in fact, my first day back in the office. And, as administrators across our conference, but across the country, we've been working to try to figure out, how do we do the right thing here? And by putting the health and safety of our student athletes at the forefront of all our decisions. And it just, working with health authorities across the country, we came to the conclusion that we cannot conceivably pull off a fall sport season at all, given the provincial health authority guidelines across the country that limits the interaction. Many of the schools in Canada have decided to go 100% online in terms of their teaching model. We're not that way. We're going with a hybrid, so predominantly in class, in person classes for the fall, and some online. But there's a lot that are online that may not have student athletes even back on their campuses. So all that being told, on June 8th, we had to make a very, very difficult decision, a gut-wrenching decision, and announce to our student athletes and the public that we will not be having a fall sport season.
Now, did you get a lot of negative feedback from the student athletes?
Well, I know at our university, we had a communications plan. So, I'd given them a letter at like 1:15 on June 8th. They were all on, Zoom calls, Teams calls with their coaches at 1:30. The announcement went out at 2:00. Obviously, a lot of disappointment, but I wouldn't say a lot of people were surprised. They've been following the North American pro sport scene, and so it didn't come as a shock, but certainly disappointing, especially for the seniors, right, that had their last year, and even the incoming first-year student athletes, that are chomping at the bit to get going with their university sport career. So, a lot of disappointment, but and then social media, that's where they all gravitate to express their feelings, and so there was a lot on there, and actually a petition came up to see if we would reconsider it across the country, but really it's the decision was made with a lot of consultation with the experts in the healthcare field, university presidents, athletic directors across the country, and youth sports and the 4 regional associations. So as difficult as it was, we feel it was the right decision.
Yeah. Let the record show, Evan and I did not sign the Fire Leo petition that came through.
Which one?
Evan, you have a question for Leo?
Yeah, I guess now that the fall's canceled, obviously your next task would be starting probably to look ahead to winter. And what do you think the obstacles going forward are going to be, and where do we need to go to make this happen in January?
Yeah, it's a great question. Keeping with fall sports for a second, our challenge now is how do we provide them with a training environment and develop them in the absence of a competitive schedule. So our coaches have been working on that. We're going to have, I think, all of our student athletes back on campus, the fall sports student athletes. So we'll keep them busy in the fall. As for winter sports, I think a decision will be made in October, Evan, in terms of, will we get the thumbs up to go ahead? Leaders are dealers in hope. So I will continue to deal hope as long as I can. So I remain optimistic. But also, there's a dose of reality in there too, that we may not be able to have a winter sports season, which would be a real shame for a number of reasons, not the least of which is St. FX. We're set to host the men's national basketball championships at Scotiabank Center in Halifax in March. and that would, you know, be a heck of a send-off for Coach Steve Kinchalski, Coach K. He won 3 national championships in that building. You know, that would be his last competition before he retires at the end of March. So the script as we've written it is fantastic. Are we going to be able to live it out? That's a big question. So fingers are crossed.
Right.
Okay. All right. After the break, we're going to chat a bit more with Leo MacPherson. He's the athletic director at St. FX University in Nova Scotia. I won't try pronouncing the town it's in again. I screwed that up once. So when we come back, we do have a few more questions for him. There's one segment left. You are watching Mick and T Sports Report on CHCO-TV. Back on Mick and T Sports Report. I'm Joe Ticotsky here in New Haven, Connecticut.
I'm Evan McFarlane down here in nice sunny St. Andrews, New Brunswick, Canada.
Nice. And our guest today is Leo MacPherson, the athletic director at St. FX University in Nova Scotia, the X-Men and X-Women. That's an awesome name. Leo, give us a couple brief highlights you've had since you've been athletic director in terms of team accomplishments at the school athletically.
Yeah, well, we're typically a school that, we're a small school in the overall scheme of things, but we're a school that punches above our weight class, if you will. So, you know, perennially ranked in top 10 in a number of sports. In my time here, we've won 6 women's rugby national championships. That's probably been our most successful sport here. You know, when I joined, we just came off a men's hockey national championship and been to 2 national championship finals. Unfortunately, came up a little short. You know, finished 3rd a couple of times. So it's been a great run here, and you know, we feel if we're going to have sport, you know, then we're in it to win it. You know, conference and national championships, and yeah, we may not have the resources of some of the larger schools, but what we do is we get very creative. We're nimble, agile, and you know, we put that student athlete experience at the core of what we do. So we're able to attract, you know, some top caliber student athletes from across the country, into the States, around the world, to Antigonish, Nova Scotia, right? Rural part of Nova Scotia. So, you know, getting back to the national championships though, for rugby, women's rugby, you know, we won in 2006, which was my 2nd year here. And then, which is a bit ahead of schedule. Then we won in 10, we won in 12, 14, 16, 18. And guess what? 2020, we don't get a chance to do it. We can't keep that pattern going because of the cancellation of fall sports due to COVID-19.
Not good. A couple quick questions and we'll let you get out there. Favorite NHL team?
Well, this is an easy one for me. From age of 4 years old, would be Montreal Canadiens. You know, talking golf and whatnot. I've got my Odyssey putter with a new Montreal Canadiens Super Stroke putter grip, and I don't know from your perspective, Joe, that might be devaluing the club by putting that on, but Evan's a golf pro here, so from my perspective, sorry. Lights just went out here. I gotta move my all on motion sensor here.
That's it.
So, yeah, first day back in the office, right? So anyway,
I'm a Knicks fan, so I feel your pain.
Yeah, so I'd say Montreal Canadiens my favorite team growing up. You know, I do love the New England teams. You know, the Celtics, the Red Sox, Patriots, and I despise the Bruins. Growing up a Montreal Canadiens fan, you can't love the Bruins, right? There you go.
Evan's a big Leafs fan, right? Huh?
I'm a sucker for punishment.
Exactly.
Yeah, they won a cup when I was 2 years old, I think the last time. But being the son of a Leafs fan, I certainly heard about the Leaf championship years. Yeah.
Good stuff.
I guess with the AUS being such a smaller conference, what's the one rivalry that really charges you up?
Oh, you know what? Well, years ago, Maclean's magazine, which is our national magazine, they do a lot of work on the university write-ups and stuff. And they said the top rivalry in university sport historically has been St. Mary's in Halifax and St. FX here. Pretty hard to beat that UNB St. FX hockey rivalry, though. UNB is a powerhouse school, not far from where you are right now, Evan. And we've had some great battles over the years, and they're juggernauts, so it's they're in their own little stratosphere, it seems, and then we're right just a notch down. We'll never beat them with talent. We have to do it with heart, character, leadership, grit.
UNB is my alma mater, and I worked a bit for the athletic department, so I've been along for the ride for a few of those national championships, but St. FX games were circled on my calendar.
Yeah, there you go. So that speaks to the rivalry right there.
Absolutely.
Excellent. All right, Leo, thank you very much for coming on the show. I know we could have stretched this into an hour if we wanted to talk about how the U.S. colleges are still planning on having sports in the fall.
Well, I'm just hearing about perhaps NCAA doing fall football in the spring. So
yes,
that came up last week too. So who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, crazy times. All right, well, let's hope for you and everyone that the 2021 calendar for university sports in Canada is a safe and smooth one. So thank you very much, Leo, for coming on the show.
Well, thanks for having me. Good luck. Great show. I've watched a few of your recorded shows online, and I've enjoyed them. So thank you.
Good. All right.
Perfect.
The last portion of our segment was a great interview with Leo. We're running short of time, as always. So we're going to go right to our charity spotlight. And if you could see in the background, the CHCO logo. The station receives no traditional funding, and it's really the only source totally dedicated to local TV in the province. And Patrick Watt and his crew have gone above and beyond with live programming, local news and shows. They did a high school graduation live, which was impressive, a grand march from St. Stephen live. So if you would like to donate, you can just go right to CHCO.TV and donate. Music spotlight, Evan, what do you have?
I'm going to keep the Atlantic Canadian band tradition going this week. Alert the Medic from Halifax, kind of like a rock band. Seen them a few times. Lots of energy. They're a great show. All
right, Alert the Medic.
Yes.
Okay. All right, mine is going to be Kathleen Edwards. She's a singer-songwriter, Canadian. She had her first album in 8 years, coming out in August. The album, as you can see, is Total Freedom, and the single is Options Open, which was recently #4 in the CBC Top 20. All right, shout-out time to finish up here. Evan, what do you have for a shout-out?
I ran into somebody on the golf course the other day who I used to work with a little bit at university after we were just talking about being part of the athletic department. Shout out to my old boss, Maureen Sparks, who said she's been checking in from Fredericton when our episodes pop up.
Good stuff. My shout out is to Jim Lorino, who is a college friend of mine, recently retired from the business world. He also paints, and there in the background, that's one of his. He's got a great website at jimlorino.com, Laurino. I told him he'll now be the talk of Litchfield, Connecticut. All right, well, believe it or not, we have zipped through our half hour here, and we are ready to call it a show. So, Evan, I hope you had a great Canada Day, and thanks, and until next time.
Absolutely.
I'm Joe Ticotsky.
I'm Evan McFarlane.
Thanks a lot for watching Mick and T Sports Report. We'll be back at you with another episode next month on CHCO-TV.